Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Ox Talks. Thanks for watching the show today. Appreciate you guys supporting the channel. I wanted to do a just a quick video this afternoon to discuss something that I thought was very important relative to gold. And I did a video, I think it was Friday, based upon the tariffs that the Trump administration had announced. And sure enough, Saturday morning, those did go into effect. We're talking about a 25% tariff on Canada and on Mexico, 10% tariff on China. I have not heard anything out of China relative to a response. Comment below if I missed something. But Trudeau is out up in Canada saying that he's already announced some kind of counter tariffs. Mexico's president has said that she has, an ABC plan, right, so to speak, to address or to counteract what's going on. But the reality is this: is that this creates massive uncertainty for markets, and it creates massive uncertainty for the stock market. It creates massive uncertainty for the crypto market, and it creates, potentially. You guys leave your comments below. Potentially a fear trade relative to gold and silver and precious metals. So we're going to have to see what happens tomorrow morning when the stock market opens up. As of recording this video, I'm showing Dow futures down almost 500 points, a little bit over 1%. NASDAQ futures down over 2%, 460 points. So that's massive. We've had a big sell-off, especially today, across the spectrum relative to cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin, XRP, Ethereum. A lot of the altcoins are down, 15, 10, 15, 18, 20%. So tomorrow's going to be a very interesting day to see how this plays out. Is this a head fake? My gut tells me that it's not. I mean, Trump doesn't seem to me to be a bluffer per se, and this could be the start of the next, let's say, wave of trade wars. And obviously, it's going to have an impact on the price of consumer goods in this country. On a broader level, what's it going to do not only to the stock market on a broader level, but the expectations of what the Federal Reserve will do relative to interest rates now? Because a lot will argue that tariffs are inflationary, right, for the United States, and therefore the Fed will have to reverse course and start raising rates again to counteract the rising inflation that is, let's say, projected by some to be the result of these tariffs. So let's see how that plays out. It very well may be the case, discussed many times on this channel since the election, leading up to the election, that it's going to be a bumpy road, and we are starting to experience that now. But it does affect all of us from very, very basic level relative to the cost of goods that we need every day to support our families, all the way up to the 1% that are invested in, or maybe whatever, top 5, 10% invested in the stock market, and also invested in the cryptocurrency market. The story I want to share with you today has to do with, and that was the reason for the thumbnail title today, has to do with gold, and more specifically the delivery of people calling for delivery of physical gold on these paper contracts. And you got to understand that the paper gold and paper silver, the leverage is massive. Massive times paper to physical, okay? And you've heard, many people more experienced than me in this come out on YouTube and all over the place and say, look, it wouldn't take that much demand for physical delivery to drain the Comex. This may be, I'm not saying it is, but it may be a tipping point. So I saw a story that came out late yesterday out of Fortune, and it's entitled J.P. Morgan plans $4 billion U.S. gold delivery amid tariff fears. And look, it's not fears now. I mean, the reality is the tariffs are in effect, and Canada's already out with countermeasures. Mexico's out with countermeasures. Let's see what China does. But this story says J.P. Morgan Chase and Company will deliver gold bullion valued at more than $4 billion against futures contracts in New York in February, at a time when surging prices and the threat of import tariffs are fueling a worldwide dash to ship metal to the United States. The bank, which is by far the world's largest or biggest bullion dealer, JP Morgan Chase, was one of several institutions to declare plans on Thursday to deliver bullion against contracts traded on CME Group's Comex that will expire in February. Delivery notices, which total 30 million troy ounces of gold, were the second largest ever in Bourse data going back to 1994. And I pulled some information on this. Gold futures contracts on the CMA. One gold futures contract is the equivalent of 100 troy ounces of gold. Says so we're going back to 1994, right? A long time ago since we had this kind of demand for physical delivery. Fears of imminent tariffs on imports following the election of U.S. President Donald Trump have caused prices for gold futures on the Comex to surge over spot prices in London. Spot prices shot to record highs this week, but the additional premium on Comex has created a lucrative arbitrage opportunity for the handful of banks that can quickly fly bullion between key trading hubs. Similar pricing dynamics, it says, have emerged in other Comex contracts too. And the disparity has become so large that traders have started flying silver into the country. I think silver contracts, guys, on the Comex, I think it's 5,000 ounces. If I'm wrong, please correct me. 5,000 troy ounces of silver per 5,000 ounces of paper silver to 5,000 physical ounces to one contract, correct? Let me know if I'm wrong on that. The precious metal is usually too cheap and bulky to justify the cost of air freight. And one industry veteran says it's the first time they've seen it happen. So guys, this is a major sea change in what's happening in the physical precious metals market. Now, has the price bared this out yet? No. I saw today when the futures opened up, the metals markets opened up today. Gold shot up $10. It pulled back a couple of dollars. Right, that's about flat. Silver's a little bit down today as well. So it hasn't really played out yet in the price. Although Friday was I think an all-time high close on gold. It says while millions of ounces of gold trade on Comex every day, I will say millions of ounces of paper gold trade on Comex every day. Typically, only a small fraction of that goes to physical delivery, with most long positions being rolled over or closed out before they expire. The exchange is often used to hedge positions in London, the largest trading hub, with banks offsetting longs with paper short positions in New York. Since the day of the U.S. election, though, physical inventories in the exchange's depositories have swelled by 13 million ounces, around $38 billion of gold. It's unclear whether JP Morgan or the other banks were delivering physical bullion physically to take advantage of an arbitrage opportunity, or were simply using deliveries to exit existing short positions. JP Morgan exchange owner CME Group declined to comment. Surprise, surprise. JP Morgan issued delivery notices for 1.485 million ounces of gold to meet physical delivery for the February gold 100-ounce contract, with deliveries on February the 3rd. Okay, that's tomorrow. That accounted for roughly half the total to be delivered, with Deutsche Bank, Morgan Stanley, and Goldman Sachs Group making up the bulk of the rest. So again, let's see how this plays out. It's massive, massive news because you always have this paper shorting. So when are people, you listen to the guys like Andy Schechtman and others that say, look, at some point in time, there will be a flip of the switch. And this stuff will simply not be able to be obtained, right? People will be demanding delivery of physical gold against their paper contracts, and the Comex will be unable to fulfill that. And you talk about, at one point in time, will there be a break-in of the Comex? So again, that's a layperson's, let's say, I'm sharing an article with you, a layperson's perspective about what potentially is afoot here. Let's see what happens. Again, we haven't had these dynamics with an administration right now for a long time. And we have to say Trump is definitely coming out firing, and let's see how this plays out. It could be massive for these markets. If you guys leave your comments below. Are you guys holders of physical gold and silver? As you know, I am. I've been buying gold since about $1,000 an ounce. Many have been buying it a lot cheaper than that. Silver as well. But, there will be a day where the holders of physical metals start to see a massive, from my personal perspective, not trading advice, not financial advice, a massive, massive reward for holding real money, God's money. Okay, went a little bit long today. Excuse me. Thanks for supporting the channel. Thanks for watching. And I'll be back in the office this week, full regular week, full schedule with clients and files and court hearings. So I'll be checking in and doing some videos. Have a great rest of your weekend and talk to y'all soon. Bye.